I tell them, hey, you have to know what to do, how to do it, and then do it with 100% effort.
Hallo und herzlich willkommen zur 135. Folge vom Podcast. Mein Name ist Luca und bei mir ist ein Tag nach dem Interview mit Wade Phillips Simon.
Hallöchen.
Ja, wie ist es dir in den letzten, so lange ist es ja noch gar nicht her, paar Stunden ergangen? Hast du es schon realisiert?
Ja klar, es ist eigentlich eine ganz normale Geschichte, so im Alltag. Nee, realisiert, eigentlich gar nicht, ja. Gar nicht, also es ist so also gefühlt ist es so, als wäre es irgendwie gar nicht passiert, aber tatsächlich doch, also crazy.
Ja, es ist halt echt irgendwie immer noch so ein bisschen, ich musste halt den letzten oder dann auch danach, wir haben ja relativ spät aufgenommen, also 8 Uhr abends unsere Zeit, bei ihm war halt 2 Uhr und ja, ich musste halt dann den ganzen Abend noch so ein bisschen drüber nachdenken, so von wegen, wie diese Podcast-Idee damals, ich weiß gar nicht, ob wir das schon mal erzählt haben, aber bei mir im Keller so entstanden ist, einfach die Idee, das, was wir da so besprechen über Football, in einem Podcast zu machen. Dann saßen wir auf einmal da mit Wade Phillips und haben mit ihm über Coaching, über seine Defense, über die Liga so ein bisschen an sich gesprochen. Ja, das Lustige daran ist ja, wenn man überlegt, also wie ging es dir in der Woche vorher? Weil wir können ja jetzt ganz offen darüber reden, wie das abgelaufen ist. Also ich muss ja ganz ehrlich sagen, bei mir war das so ein bisschen schwankend, um es so zu formulieren. Aber sag erst mal, wie es dir ergangen ist mit der ganzen Geschichte.
Ja, es war so ein bisschen schwankend, ne? Nee, es war total weird. Ich habe auch so ein bisschen Zeitfeeling verloren. Es war nur eine Woche, ne? Oder 1,5, sag ich mal, vom Podcast, bis du ursprünglich angeschrieben hattest.
Ja, ungefähr 1,5, ja.
Ungefähr 1,5, ja. Also erstmal natürlich mega krank. Du hast gesagt, Wade Phillips hat da so einen Post auf Twitter rausgehauen. Der macht so Sachen mit Fans und Coaches in Amerika und sonst so, und man kann sich halt bei dem melden, und dann hat sie dich gemeldet und dann hat er tatsächlich auch geantwortet. Ich dachte so, what, krass. Mal gucken, was da so bei rumkommt. So. Also eher so krasse Reaktion darauf, dass der halt überhaupt zurückgeschrieben hat. Ich so, okay, krass. Aber habe auch nicht wirklich damit gerechnet, dass da irgendwie was bei rumkommt. Ne? Und dann dann ging das irgendwie ganz schnell und dann einen Termin festgelegt. Und ich so, what? No fucking way. Und wir sowieso erstmal beide, glaube ich, mega im Hype und oh fuck, Alter, wir müssen ja mega krass was vorbereiten. Das wird mega aufwendig und auch 245 Minuten, aber was müssen wir jetzt alles machen? Also voll stressig. Also die ersten Tage danach, und dann hatten wir letztes Wochenende eigentlich soweit alles vorbereitet gehabt, wirklich alle Fragen und ausformuliert und teilweise dann auch Sachen offen gelassen. Und was müssen wir denn alles fragen, so ein bisschen priorisiert, was ist wirklich interessant, und dann hatten wir dann auch noch rausgeschickt mit Hörerfragen und ja, das alles irgendwie übereinander zu bekommen. Also man war so ein bisschen im Struggle, das erstmal fertig zu kriegen, und als wir es dann fertig hatten, war es halt sehr weird. Also dann schwankte halt, oder die Stimmung kippte so ein bisschen dahingehend, ja, okay, wir hatten jetzt Einladungen rausgeschickt über Zoom, und irgendwie hat er sich noch nicht so richtig zurückgemeldet, hat jetzt nicht
quasi gar nicht.
Also gar nicht zurückgemeldet. Und jeden Tag, also die ersten 2 Tage dachte ich so, okay, gut, beim letzten Mal hat er auch 1-2 Tage gebraucht, bis er geantwortet hat, alles normal, und dann kam halt einfach gar nichts. Ja, und dann am gleichen Tag, am Mittwoch. Also ich persönlich dachte so, okay, also nervös war ich halt gar nicht, weil ich dachte, okay, also aktuell sieht es irgendwie so aus, als wäre der nicht am Start. Was mich natürlich schon abgefuckt hat. Aber ich dachte, okay, gut, dann muss es wenigstens nicht machen. Aber ja, deswegen Nervosität ging dann klar bis eine halbe Stunde vorher.
Wo wir dann da zusammen saßen.
Genau, und darauf gewartet haben, dass er reinjoint. Längste halbe Stunde meines Lebens. Nein, Spaß. Übertreiben so nicht.
Nee, also bei mir war es ja auch so. Also ich hatte dann ihm auch nochmal, nachdem wir über Zoom halt per Mail, an die Mailadresse, die er mir gegeben hatte, die Einladung rausgeschickt hatten, habe ich dann noch mal bei Twitter ihm den Link geschickt und nochmal gesagt, ob er auch irgendwie Fragen hat zum Ablauf, auch der Aufnahme und ob er eventuell irgendwie Themenbereiche haben wollen würde, über die wir sprechen wollen mit ihm. Und wie gesagt, da kam halt absolut gar nichts mehr. Und, dann, ähnlich wie bei dir, war dann bei mir auch so, ja okay, jetzt ist es echt so ein bisschen in der Schwebe. Ist halt Wade Phillips so. Ich glaube, du hattest mir noch gesagt von wegen so, eigentlich, wenn Wade Phillips dir zusagt, den schätzt man so als Typ ein, dass der dann halt auch sicher am Start ist.
Mhm.
Auf der anderen Seite, klar, hat er wahrscheinlich mit zig Leuten Termine gemacht. Und wer weiß, wie hoch er da so einen deutschen Podcast priorisiert. Aber ja, es hat halt in der Woche auf jeden Fall geholfen, die Nervosität wegzunehmen. Bei mir war halt nicht nur die letzte halbe Stunde, sondern der ganze Tag. Du hattest ja den ganzen Tag noch Arbeit.
Mhm.
Ich hatte den Morgen noch relativ viel zu tun. Dann war halt bei mir ein bisschen Flaute und ich bin dann auch so, ich habe die Sachen nochmal 18 Mal durchgelesen, was wir da vorbereitet hatten. Und bei mir, also ich war super angespannt den ganzen Tag über. Ich weiß nicht, ich glaube, du hast es auch gemerkt, wo wir dann, wie gesagt, da saßen und dann, keine Ahnung, saßen wir da eine halbe Stunde lang und ich habe ja, glaube ich, die letzten 4 Minuten habe ich noch relativ konsequent, also kurz bevor er kam, 2 Minuten vor 8, habe ich noch konsequent runtergezählt und dann habe ich irgendwas, ich weiß nicht, ich glaube hier irgendwas am Schreibtisch noch sortiert oder so und ich hörte von dir nur Oh. Also, den Blick dauerhaft auf die Teilnehmerliste in dem Zoom-Call hattest. Ja, und dann war Wade Phillips
Start,
da.
Ja. Und dann auch noch mit Video.
Ja.
In seinem Büro, in seinem fetten Büro am Sitzen, ganz entspannt. Ja, crazy. Also sehr, sehr, sehr kranker Moment.
Ja,
Also,
absolutes Highlight für unser bisheriges Podcast-Dasein und
Football-Dasein. Also
stimmt.
als Fan. Also ist schon was Nices und hat sehr, sehr, sehr viel Fun gemacht.
Ja. Ja, ich würde dann auch sagen, bevor wir hier noch zu viel vorwegnehmen, wir werden nach der Folge ganz, ganz sicher noch so ein bisschen unsere Einschätzung zum Interview geben, wie das abgelaufen ist. Ich meine, tun wir dann mal so, als ob wir das dann auch gerade gehört hätten. Was uns noch wichtig wäre, wie immer, also Fantasy League ist noch offen. Anmeldungen sind immer gerne genommen. Der Post ist noch nicht draußen, wird dann kommende Woche irgendwann kommen. Instagram, Twitter. Wie gesagt, der Instagram-Account können noch ein paar Follower vertragen. Von daher da bitte folgen. Und wir hören uns in knapp 45 Minuten. Ja, dann viel Spaß. Hello, Mr. Phillips.
Hello, Coach.
Hi there.
I guess we'll start. It's a pleasure to have you here today with us as a super winning coach and future Hall of Famer. We'd love to get some input on a few different topics regarding your NFL and your coaching career. But first of all, how are you doing? How's your family with this whole situation with the virus?
Well, we're doing okay. I mean, we're quarantined like everybody, or a lot of people are. But things are opening up in Texas a little bit, so hopefully things will get better. We think they will.
Okay, nice. We have prepared some questions for you, and we also received some questions from our listeners who were really excited. This meeting is not only special for us, but it's special for the whole football community in Germany. A person like you with such great experience, it's amazing that we can talk to you right now.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I'm glad to do it. I love football, and I love people that love football. So
that's great. To start off, let's get into the ins and outs regarding coaching. You've been a head coach and defensive coordinator for the majority of your career in the NFL. And we are wondering, is it a huge advantage in comparison to a defense coordinator or head coaching position to have the final say regarding coaching decisions?
Well, experience in anything I think helps, you know. I've been in the NFL 42 years, so I've got a little experience. And, you know, head coaching, well, defensive coordinator is just half the team. Head coaching is the whole team. So that's really the difference. But coaching as a defensive coordinator, you know, you have basically half the team you coach all the time. So that's fun for me.
Was your time as the LA Rams defensive coordinator different to other assignments as a DC in the league? Since it seemed like Coach Sean McVay was fully committed to the offensive part of coaching, or was it quite the same?
Most of the time I've coached for an offensive head coach, so when I've been a defensive coordinator. So you have a lot of autonomy on defense. So, you know, basically I run that side of the ball, and so that makes it fun for me.
Any other advantages of being of concentrating on the defensive part of a game, or is it that through the staff and all the other personnel which work with you as a head coach quite the same in comparison to being a defensive coordinator?
Well, you really need somebody in charge of the because you have 11 people out on the field. Mm-hmm. So that side of the ball, you need somebody in charge of that. You need somebody in charge of the offense, 11 people on the field. And even what we call special teams, where those plays, you have 11 players. So it's good to have somebody that has an expertise in that area handling those positions.
Following up on that, how much of an impact does a defensive coordinator have on the offensive game plan, like watching it from another perspective?
You know, to be a good defensive coordinator, you have to know offense. Be a good offensive coordinator, you have to know defense. So, you know, we communicate back and forth if there's things we need to know or talk about. But like I say, it's really kind of an autonomous position where you're handling your area and you should know what you're supposed to do and how to do it.
In terms of game planning for itself, how flexible is a defensive approach in order to counter changes made by the opposite offense, or if the opposite team is playing different than you expected maybe before the game? Is it easier for an offense to be flexible there, or is it better for defense?
Well, you have to be flexible in both, because you're not sure what your opponent is going to do. You know, mm-hmm. you have tape on them and you study them and before you play them, but you don't know the plan of attack, the way they're going to attack you. And so in the ball game, you have to make adjustments on either side of the ball. You have to make adjustments if they're not doing the things that you thought they were going to do, or they're not doing them the same way, or they're successful on things. They're going to keep doing that.
And it worked quite well for you in the last years, of course, as a defensive coordinator. The draft isn't long ago, these past weeks, and there's one question always coming up on whether it's more important to have good talent or special kind of atmosphere in the locker room and culture in the locker room. One thing we are quite curious about regarding the deck is, because in general we can only see what's happening on the field, how much of an impact does culture really have compared to the raw talent of the roster?
Well, it definitely has an influence. I mean, it's your culture, how you work together, how important it is to everybody in your organization or on your team, how important it is to them makes a big difference. And so, you know, when we went to the Rams, you know, they hadn't had a winning season in a long, long time. So, you know, that attitude kind of seeps in that you have to kind of change that and say, hey, we can win, and this is how we're going to do it. This is the things we're going to work on that'll make you successful. And we won 35 games and went to a Super Bowl in 3 years, so we did pretty well.
Yeah, and considering that, how much can a coach with his coaching compensate for with his scheme and the proper culture, this whole coaching stuff, in order to overcome maybe a lack of talent on maybe a position group?
Well, that's what coaching is. Coaching is to make people better, teach them better ways of doing things, different schemes, certainly. even down to efficiency of motion or efficiency of movement, to make them better at what they're doing. You can't make them run faster, but you can help them change direction quicker. You can work on drills to do those things. You can work on their footwork, on how they, in our case on defense, how quickly they get off the ball and when the ball snapped and things like that you work on every day to try to get them better. So, I wouldn't be a coach if I didn't think I could get them better, and also contribute to a game plan that gives them a chance to do their best.
From the outside view, when you look at players talking about an experience with you as a coach, it always seemed like you and the guys had a great bond. This morning, I watched a video with you and Keep the Lead right after Super Bowl 50. And considering that, how much has the locker room changed over the last decade with social media and smartphones playing a huge part in everyone's life? Do those things have a negative impact or maybe a positive, I don't know, within the team?
Yeah, I mean, the world changes, I've been in it a long time, so I've seen a lot of changes socially, certainly. Yeah, we're a cell phone, generation now. I mean, everybody has a cell phone. Now we make them put it in, an area before they go into our meetings and so forth. But as soon as they get out, they look at their cell phone, and then I look at mine to see what they're looking at. So,
you're quite active on Twitter
and try to keep up with that. But no, I mean, people are people. I mean, I think, and football, the players I've been around, they work hard at what they do. They try to do their best, and that's fun to be around. That hadn't changed since I've been coaching. They're all the same before the game starts. They're all excited about playing. They all want to win, and that feeling is great in the locker room going out. And it's been that way ever since I've coached. That's never changed. So that's really fun. Yeah. It doesn't matter how much money they make or, whether they're a high school player or a college player, they're all excited in that dressing room. They don't know what's going to happen, but they want something good to happen and they want to try to do well. And that's a great feeling, that you just can't explain unless you've been there.
Yeah, I guess so. It's amazing to hear.
And winning together, after the celebration of team winning is, it's a great feeling. We accomplished. It's a sense of accomplishment when you go in after a game and you win the ball game and everybody's has such great feeling and camaraderie together. So that's a great part of it. And if you hadn't been associated with that, that's a great thing about sports. When those things happen, it brings people closer together.
Yeah, you've been on several teams which made Super Bowl runs. Was it in a way special in comparison to other locker rooms?
I don't know. I mean, it's such a hard. It's hard to get to the Super Bowl. It's hard to even get to the Super Bowl, to be there, and it takes a lot of things. It's not luck, I don't think, but it. There's so many good teams, and they work so hard, and they have such talent that it's hard to get there. But it's the ultimate. If you win it, you're the best. Everybody says you're the best. You've accomplished all you could accomplish that season, and that's hard to do anytime.
All right. We wanted to get a little bit into your defensive philosophy. We saw you and your defense having great success in the last years, being responsible for 2 Super Bowl appearances in the past and even a title with the Denver Broncos. Can you outline your general defensive philosophy for us?
Yeah, I can. And I try to make it simple. In that
That's good.
They have to, I tell them, hey, you have to know what to do, how to do it, and then do it with 100% effort. Now, there's a lot of things that go into that. Knowing what to do means knowing where, in our game, knowing where to line up, knowing where to line up before the ball snap, your alignment, and then your assignment, and then to be able to execute that. So, and then what to do, that's what to do. Then how to do it is the technique that you use to to accomplish what your position you're playing. So whether you're playing a cornerback, the technique you use to cover a guy man to man, or play zone, or defensive lineman to play his gap responsibility or whatever. So what to do, how to do it, and then 100% effort. Most people don't know what 100% effort is, because you'll see people running to the ball and then they speed up. Well, they weren't running full speed if they speed up. So you have to teach people how to play 100. You even coach people how to play 100% effort too. So, and you put all that together, you got a good team.
How do you do this? Is it normal that maybe college players who come into the league don't have that kind of attitude at the beginning?
That's all players.
Okay.
I mean, everywhere I've been, I mean, there's, if you watch them, like I said, you'll see them speed up. You'll see them when they see the ball, they don't really burst to the ball. They start going, because it's natural to look and analyze what's going on, and you slow down doing that. You're analyzing, well, the ball is, 10 meters away from me. I guess y'all are in meters. 10 meters away from me. I can't make the play, so I'm not really gonna take off to do that. So we teach them and work on a burst to the ball. Once they see where the ball is, they go to the ball right now. Okay, and it has to be taught. It's not a natural thing. No. Same thing with running full speed to the ball. Hey, you watch people; they'll slow down because they're analyzing what's going on, and then wait, I can make the play, so I'm gonna go. So. We teach those things. We have drills that they do things like that, and they're able to play more 100%. Now you're not going to be 100% every play, I don't think, but you got to try to get as close to it as you can, because that 2 steps or 3 steps is the difference in making a tackle, causing a fumble, recovering a fumble. That's the difference. Can be a big play in the game. And I've seen guys make plays. Chase them all the way down to the 1 yard line and tackle them. In the next play, they fumble and we get the ball. So you can make a difference. And that same thing if you're rushing the passer, if you're slower rushing the passer, you're not going to get there. So we teach them a burst to the ball in full speed.
All right. We made our research before when we got the meeting with you, and you everywhere when people talk about you and your philosophy, they say you traditionally run a 3-4 defense. But for us as a viewer, you cannot determine that perfectly all the time. How fluid is the transition between a classic 3-4 and a 4-3 defense?
Well, I mean, again, it's people with their hand on the ground. If they got 4 people that have their hand on the ground, you're playing a 4-man front. If you got 3 people with a hand on the ground, then you got a 3-4. You got 3 linemen or 4 linemen, and in the 3-4, you have more linebackers standing up, seeing the ball, which is why I always like the 3-4, because you got 3 linemen, 3 guys with their hand on the ground, and then the 4 linebackers are all standing up. In a 4-3, the four linemen are down. They can see the man in front of them, but they can't see what's going on in the backfield. And you have 3 linebackers that are moving to the ball. So I always thought 3-4 was a good advantage that way.
So you mean standing up as a pass rusher, you have an advantage?
No, you're on the line of scrimmage. When you're in a 3-4, the 2 outside backers are standing on the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. So you really have 5 people that are ready to rush, whereas 4-3 they really don't have that.
All right.
How would you describe the role of defensive back in your preferred defensive scheme? When you run a 3-4 scheme on the front with 3 defensive liners and 4 linebackers, what's your preferred scheme in the backfield? Or is it depending on the team you're playing and everything? Or is there something you can adapt to every enemy you're facing?
Yeah, usually adapt to you do what you do best. If you play zone coverage really well, everything we're trying to do is try to be really good at what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Every defense that we call, we want to be really good at that. Now you can't call everything. You can't teach everything. You can't adjust everything. So, some years I've had teams that played more man-to-man because we had good man-to-man players coverage-wise, and that way we could rush the people we needed to rush. Or I've had teams that were better zone, dropping in zones and playing pass defense, and that way you fit your front or your rushes to that coverage. Normally you're rushing four people and you can play some kind of coverage, either zone or man. Okay, when the 4-3 you're rushing four, we know which four guys are coming.
Yeah.
These guys with they've already got their hand down. So, but in a 3-4, it's a little bit advantage because they don't know where the fourth guy's coming from. They know the three guys are down, they're going to rush, but they don't know which linebacker is going to come, that fourth guy. So it gives you a little bit of advantage that way. So that's also why I've always liked 3-4 defenses because, their protection-wise, they weren't sure who was going to be the fourth guy. Now, you can bring more than four. You can bring five, and you can blitz and rush six guys. But we have five guys standing on the line of scrimmage in a 3-4. We have five. And in 4-3, you have four guys on the line of scrimmage. So it just, to me, it makes better sense to play a 3-4.
Because that's what offense does all the time too, being unpredictable, and it's like you kind of have to counter that with some unpredictability of your own.
That's correct. Yeah. Just don't let them know what you're doing, but do it real well.
That's a huge problem to do it consistent over a basis of years. How much of the approach in general, of a defensive approach, you already said it depends on what the players are able to do. For example, in the draft, you're in search of a cornerback and you want to play man coverage. You're obviously searching for a player who's good at man coverage and not quite that good or in zone coverage, for example. But how important are not only the player personnel you have from on your own, but also the general development of the whole league regarding the offensive play style? It changed a lot in the last year. We had Coach Sean McVay, we have Kyle Shanahan with some kind of new innovations on the offensive side. Is it important to adapt to that place, or can you use your general philosophy throughout maybe decades?
Yeah, it's defense is recognition of plays and reactions to plays. I mean, we're going to attack on defense, but we still got to react to what they're doing. And there's always something they're going to do a little bit different, And like you said, those guys started doing some different things. But we've seen that throughout, my career, the long career. We saw different type offenses. We saw the run and shoot, what they call the run and shoot offense for a while in the NFL, and some other type things. So it goes through a process, and it's an adjustment. Defenses are always adjusting what offenses are doing new, and we, now again, you still need to do what you do well. I mean, if there's something that if you really play man-to-man well, you can shut down. If you play it well enough, you can shut down whoever. If you play matchup zone, we call matchup zone, not just zone, but matchup zone. We can be on receivers a little bit better. So we've really I've really based out of a matchup zone and a man coverage if we have man players, and it's been pretty successful.
That's awesome. Regarding personnel on your team, on your defense, we received one question by our listeners at Hello Kittle and at B46 via Twitter. They are asking, what's more important? I think it depends on the coach, but do you think a secondary or defensive front is first of all more important, or can't you really tell?
You're talking about, is it the front seven or the back four?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we voted one time and it was 7-4.
Perfect answer.
So the guys up front think it's more important than the guys in the back. It all goes together. It's still a team. It's still a team, and your weakest link of the team is where you can get hurt. So that's why you have to coach them to get better in every area and every part of your defense.
institutions like PFF, for example, they, with the development of the passing game, they always say the defense is shifting more, like Simon said, that there's more importance for the secondary right now because passing game is so much better to have success. Do you agree with that?
I can tell you this: the better rush you have, the better pass rush you have, the better pass defense you have. So we used to play a 5 under 3 deep zone, okay, five guys short and then 3 guys deep, and rush 3 guys, all right. And then we also played a 4-man rush with 4 guys short and 3 guys deep, all right. So which one was the best pass coverage, 5 under 3 deep or 4 under 3 deep? Which one do you think?
I guess the 4 one.
Yeah, me too.
4 guys.
The 4 under 3 deep was a better pass coverage because of rush.
Yeah.
Less time for the passer. That's one thing. I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. Luca's a Denver Broncos fan, so he's quite excited about 2015.
Okay.
But that's one thing I recognize in the last 2 years. I think the 49ers were dead last in pass defense 1 season ago or before the last season. Regarding the personnel, nothing's really changed. You had Rich Sherman, you had a few other guys. But you get a player like DeFord, you get a player like Nick Bosa, and set really pressure on the enemy quarterback, and suddenly you're on the top of pass coverage. Right. So that makes big impact.
It really does. I mean, when we had DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller, you could see what a difference that made. You know? So we had, and we rushed them a lot, as much as we could. So
I remember that.
Yeah, I got a big ring to prove it.
Especially in the last years, we are not 40 years into the league, and we are not that deep into maybe playing football in the 1990s and early 2000s. But in the last years, especially, we have seen a huge development and also some kind of diversification in offensive schemes. What are the measures a defensive coach can take to keep up with those rapid changes? I already mentioned McVay and Shannon, but also new old schemes from guys like Greg Roman, for example, in Baltimore. On the one side, you got to keep up with those pass heavy offenses like in Kansas City or in LA. On the other side, you have teams like the Baltimore Ravens, which kind of do the complete opposite of that. How do you keep up with that on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, we try to do the same thing too. We try to come up with things that give them problems. Obviously, we rush 5 guys, but one of them's covering the quarterback. I mean, the running back. So, we try to do different things and give them problems. But again, it's recognition. Being able to recognize the play and what they're trying to do helps everybody. So that it helps all the people trying to get to the football. That's what you're trying to do. So, it's constantly changing. The world's changing. We're trying to change with it and do the right things.
And it's always hard to do, especially with certain always new players coming out of college, the new quarterbacks and new kind of styles they are producing, or a different kind of athleticism, contrary to maybe 20 years ago. How difficult is it to coach against special players on the offense? Like, for example, we got Patrick Mahomes, we got Lamar Jackson last season, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson. We got a bunch of great quarterbacks, leaving out the great ones of the Tom Brady's and Ruiz's. Do you have a special game plan against one player, or do you always coach against a team?
Yes, you have. If they have a great receiver like Julio Jones, or they have a whoever they have that's really good, you got to try to stop them. You got to keep them from beating you. And so, it's our part of your game plan. Cam Newton was the MVP of the league when we won the Super Bowl at Denver, and we had to stop him from running the ball. We sacked him 7 times, and and once for a touchdown and once on the fumbled on the 5-yard line that helped win that game. So, it's key players that make a difference that can get you beat. You got to try to stop them.
So it's always good to have one of those MVPs on your own side, like Von Miller
right.
in this game.
For sure. Yeah, but I mean that's normally why you still have to have great players. I mean and I've been lucky to have a whole lot of them. So, lately J.J. Watt and then Von Miller and then DeMarcus Ware and then Aaron Donald. So I've had quite a few in the last few years.
Awesome. We made earlier we made a post on Instagram, and we looked also through your career and your teams and said, okay, you got defensive MVPs all over the place in the last decade. J.J. Watt, 3-time defensive player, Aaron Donald,
Reggie White,
the man to beat, obviously in the NFL right now as an offensive line. And they are struggling quite at the moment.
If you had to choose one, who's the best, or are they all in their own way kind of special?
Yeah, I mean, they're all Hall of Fame great ones. I mean, it's hard to say one great one's better than another great one.
Mm-hmm.
No, I went way back. I coached Reggie White, who, is one of the great ones of all time, and Bruce Smith, who is the all-time sack leader in the history of the NFL. So
those were the 5 we had on our post. Him and Aaron Donald and J.J. Watt and those guys. Maybe I can show you real quick. Here are those guys. Then in the back there's Reggie White and there's Bruce Smith.
Yeah, I got you. I see him. How about that? That's neat. Send me that picture, man.
Okay, I'll do so. There's also your accomplishments are also in that picture, like having 19 times top 10 defense, your assistant coach of the year award in 2015, and the Super Bowl 50 championship. It's all on there.
Oh, well, thanks. And the last 5 years, we won 57 games, so in 2 Super Bowls. So yeah, we've been on a run for a while. So, but I enjoy it, and like I said, I wouldn't be coaching if I didn't think I could help. But I've still had a lot of great players, and that's still the big difference. You still have to have good players.
Yeah.
Another question by one of our listeners at Why Are Trees? Is it somehow easier to prepare for a run-heavy offense in comparison to a more balanced offensive approach? We have the Titans and Ravens, for example, last year, or are there just different challenges?
Yeah, they're just different challenges. I mean, and they're doing what they're good at. The teams you mentioned running the ball, they're doing what they're good at. But the balanced guys, if they're balanced and they got Tom Brady at quarterback, they're going to be really good. So the balance is harder to prepare for overall because that team that we beat, the Panthers, were fairly balanced, but they were more a running team. And so we stopped the run and then got him in passing situations, and our pass rush got to Cam Newton 7 times. So the only thing about a running team is it takes time off the clock. It's harder to score more points if you're running the ball a lot. So the passing game, that's why it's so important and stopping the pass is because you can move the ball quicker and faster and run plays. The worst passers in the league average 5 yards an attempt. Well, your best running backs don't average 5 yards an attempt, or maybe they do. But I mean, what I'm saying is, if you throw it every down, you're going to make more yards. Now, bad things can happen. You can fumble, quarterback can fumble, the interceptions and stuff like that. But the passing game is really the key to be able to stop that, to not let them score as many points. That's the key. Points are the most important thing in the game. Turnovers are next most important.
Yeah. How much time does it take to adjust to some of those new offensive play styles? There are certainly differences between all those named coaches, like Simon said, and their play styles. But are there offenses, maybe in the past decades, which took months, a whole season, or even years to figure them out and to play effectively against them?
It usually takes some time for overall for teams to adapt to any new thing. You can still play well against it. I don't mean that, because it still comes down to personnel and what you do well and what they can really do well. Now they can have a new scheme, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to do well in it. Somebody else besides Baltimore can run that same offense and not do very well at all because of their personnel. It doesn't fit what they do. They don't have a Lamar Jackson that can run with it like he can at quarterback. So it's not necessarily the offense; it's the players that they have in that offense. And sometimes if it's a good group like that, it'll take a long time to stop them because of their talent, and they're utilizing their talent. What you have to do defensively is have your talent and utilize it in the best way you can.
Yeah. So you say there is hope maybe in the future that for us Broncos fans that Mahomes can be stopped.
Yeah, he's something, he's really amazing,
I mean, you played an amazing game against him in the...
Oh, yeah, we held him at 51 points.
Yeah, no, I mean the game was amazing.
But we beat it. But we won 54 to 51. So
that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and we had 3 turnovers for touchdowns, and we sacked him 5 times. And so we really didn't have a terrible game, but he's a great player. And Andy Reid's a heck of a coach. He does a great job.
On the other side, one question we also received by our listeners. We talked about Aaron Donald earlier, and the question comes from the German Seahawks. It's the Seahawks fan club here in Germany, and obviously they're trying to figure out how to stop Aaron Donald. Sure thing. Is there any way to stop this guy?
No, I mean they try to double team him. I mean that's in fact the 49ers would block him with the guard and have the back block on him too. Most people try to double with the center.
Yes.
The center and the guard try to block him. Now we line him up in different places. So we line him up with the guard, but we sometimes line him up over the center, and sometimes line him up over the other guard. So they have to locate where he is sometimes, and then they're gonna try to double him, but you can take advantage of that too. If they're trying to double one guy, you can bring more people from the other side where they can't pick up. So we tried to utilize that, but he's the only guy really that I've been around that could beat an inside player that could beat double teams like that. I mean, they still double team him and he still made the play. So that's why he's fantastic. You can't unless you've seen it, and when you see it, it's still hard to believe.
Yeah. We have another one from fellow podcaster Fabian from Snap the Football Show. Should defenses change their approach on early downs and try to defend the pass primarily while trying to defend the run as a byproduct?
Well, you have to have defenses where you feel like you're good, whether they run or pass. I mean, that's because, they're 50-50 in a lot of situations. 50% of the time on first down, they're going to run it, and 50% of the time they're going to pass it. So what do? What do you play? Well, you play something that you play really well that takes care of both those things. And then when you get them in passing situations, then you run more pass-oriented rush defenses. And if they're in shorter yardage, then you're going to play more run-oriented defense. Like 2nd and 1 is more of a rundown, so we're going to be in more of a run call. Okay?
Yeah. And there was another one, and I was really glad somebody posted that question. What's your favorite memory of the Broncos Super Bowl 50 run? And where do you see your former team next season? Because I'm pretty interested in this as well. And this is by Eike from Good Sport Podcast.
Yeah, the Broncos next year? I don't know. I can't predict. They seem like they're going in the right direction, and hopefully we have this next year. We'll see, but Vic Fangio is a good coach, real good defensive coach. So I think they'll come along, and they've got some good running backs. So I think Denver will be all right, Year to year, you never know. I mean, you think you're going to have this, and it can be injuries sometimes, or sometimes the other teams you're playing are better and better. So it's going to be hard to beat Kansas City in that division, though, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Do you think we will have a season next year? What's your impression right now?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I don't know how y'all are doing there, but we're starting to open up here a little bit here, and I think it's going to work out. So In fact, we've kind of copied y'all, I believe. We've copied Germany a little bit, trying to get things back going. So, yeah, I'm hopeful, just like everybody. I'm hopeful that everything works out and we get rid of this thing.
My impression right now here is people get a little bit too uncareful. They are all over the place, wearing the mask wrong, and don't copy that, please, because we need that NFL season.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
And one question which really interested in regarding the future is, what's your plans for the next season? Are you in talks with teams, for example, or are you planning to coach?
I'm talking to a few teams. I don't know. I'm retired right now, so but that could change. I still love coaching, and I think I can help somewhere. So we'll see. I always say, I say to people, hey, if they want a senior assistant, that title, well, I'm definitely a senior. So
we'd love to see it, but we'd love to see that, but please not in the NFC West.
Well, we'll see. Yeah.
Please stay away from the West Conference, West divisions, because I don't want to.
You guys are real fans. I like that. Yeah, it's been fun talking to you guys.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, this is awesome for me too.
We really appreciate it.
I hope you could cope with our bad English.
No, you're great. I'm from Texas, so sometimes you don't understand me. The people here don't understand me. So
that's awesome.
Hey, I enjoyed it. And you guys did a great job. I appreciate your questions and your interest. Yeah, thank you to everybody, and everybody stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck.
Incredible experience for us.
All right, bye.
Ja, Simon.
Hands are shaken.
Immer noch?
Nein, also eine gute Mütze Schlaf hat geholfen. Aber es ist noch nicht so wirklich einfach, das Ganze zu realisieren.
Wenn du jetzt nochmal, wie gesagt, wir haben es ja gerade jetzt nochmal gehört, wenn du das jetzt nochmal so rekapitulierst, welche Themen fandest du oder was an dem ganzen Interview hat dir am besten gefallen? Einfach nur die Tatsache, also bei mir ist es halt durchgehend absoluter Wahnsinn, aber wenn du jetzt ein Highlight so ein bisschen herausstellen müsstest, was wäre das?
Das Highlight allgemein war, also das wirkliche Highlight war, dass er mit Video am Start war. Also, dass man ihm wirklich gegenüber gesessen hat und ihn sehen konnte mit Reaktionen und allem drum und dran. Das war für mich so wirklich das allgemeine beste Ereignis und Erlebnis, sag ich mal, von den 45 Minuten, so für mich ganz persönlich. Vom Inhaltlichen her tatsächlich so das, was man so ein bisschen, wo man vielleicht sagen könnte, okay, ja, das ist ja irgendwie logisch, dass das so ist, was Coaching anging, was Spieler anging, das Thema 100% geben. Ich fand den Part mega, mega crazy, mega inspirierend, dass er so gesagt hat, ja, viele Leute wissen einfach nicht, was heißt 100% zu geben. Und wo er den Vergleich dann gebracht hat, so wenn Spieler beschleunigen müssen, um zum Ball zu kommen, dann sind sie vorher halt schon nicht mit Fullspeed gelaufen. Das klingt so basic, aber das ist halt nochmal was anderes. Es mag vielleicht irgendwie so ein bisschen amerikanisch sein, so der Gedanke, so diese Motivation und so weiter und so fort, aber anscheinend ist das halt genau das Ding, also das war uns irgendwie auch schon vorher bewusst, man kriegt das ja immer so ein bisschen mit aus allen möglichen Serien über die NFL und Interviews und sonst was, dass man denkt immer so, das sagen die halt so, damit das so ist, aber irgendwie hatte man das Gefühl in dem Interview, dass das halt wirklich das A und O ist, was Coaching angeht, was Spielen in der NFL angeht, dieses, ja, zwar typisch amerikanische und ja, man muss alles rein, man muss alles geben und dann kann man schaffen und so weiter. Aber das wird halt echt gelebt so und das vom Coach zu hören ist nochmal was komplett anderes. Also das habe ich ultra gefeiert.
Ja, also ich muss halt auch sagen, was du sagtest mit der Kamera, ich habe mir den Zoom-Call nochmal angeguckt, in voller Länge.
Also ein paar Mal.
Und vor allem am Anfang und dann halt auch zwischendrin, wenn er halt wirklich so ausholt und gestikuliert und erzählt halt einfach, wurde dann ja auch hinterher ein bisschen spezifischer, dann du siehst unsere beiden Gesichter, wie wir einfach nur total gespannt und fasziniert ihm da zuhören. Mich hat sehr gefreut, so auch so Sachen wie, als er sagte, so ja, wie viel Spaß ihm das halt auch gemacht hat. Ich weiß gar nicht, ob das in der Folge drin ist oder ob das noch dabei ist, als wir das Recording dann gestoppt haben. Aber wo er noch sagte, ja, ich liebe Leute, die Football lieben. Und
Ja, das ist
auch
drin in der
so
Folge.
Sachen wie, ja, man merkt, dass ihr echte Fans seid und so. Das ist halt, keine Ahnung, das ist einfach schön. So, auch wenn er dann lacht, so wie gesagt, das auch durch die Kamera dann so ein bisschen gegeben. Also es war einfach insgesamt unglaublich.
Also klar macht es ihm Spaß. Der macht das über 40 Jahre in der NFL, wird er nicht machen, wenn er keinen Spaß dran hat. Aber man merkt es halt wirklich, ne? Also es kommt halt rüber. Das ist klar, kann man jetzt nicht hundertprozentig einschätzen, wie der im Training ist und so weiter. Aber Interviews, die wir vorher geguckt hatten und was du auch erzählt hattest mit Aqib Talib. Ich glaube, der ist einfach ein cooler Typ. Und auch für Spieler so ein richtiger Kerl. Ich weiß jetzt nicht, ob man sagen würde, irgendwie Vaterfigur oder sowas in die Richtung. Aber der hat so diesen Vibe, sag ich mal, da drin. Ist nicht so ist nicht so ein grantiger alter Opa, in Anführungsstrichen, so wie man es, ich meine, über 70 Jahre alt, sondern hat Spaß an dem, was er macht, nimmt hier und da einen Joke. Richtig cooler Typ. Einfach ganz ab davon, dass er ein krasser Coach ist. Ja, und das macht Spaß. Also wie gesagt, wahrscheinlich könnte man sich logischerweise stundenlang einfach über Football unterhalten.
Ja, das mit den Spielern, wie gesagt, also in meiner Zeit, wo ich halt auch immer die Pressekonferenzen von ihm in Denver verfolgt habe und auch was die Spieler über ihn sagen, also das Wort Swag ist da, war ja damals noch sehr angesagt, es wurde ein oder anderes Mal gefallen. Auch wenn man einfach ihn googelt, mal bei Bilder guckt, findet man auch mal ein Bild mit der Chain von Aqib Talib oder so. Also es ist halt richtig feierlich, wie er, und ich glaube auch, dass, wie du schon sagtest, dass er im Umgang mit den Spielern so ist, dass er einfach komplett authentisch ist, so wie er sich halt auch präsentiert. Was halt, so ein bisschen, klar, er hat dann auch nach 45 Minuten gesagt, okay, hier ist dann aber auch Sense, hat dann versucht, das Gespräch in eine gewisse Richtung zu leiten, dass wir dann hier auch Schluss machen. Tut uns ein bisschen leid, weil wir deswegen nicht alle Hörerfragen unterbringen konnten. An dieser Stelle nochmal sorry. Ich hoffe, wie gesagt, dass es euch trotzdem gefallen hat. Aber alles in allem, also ich bin durchweg komplett zufrieden mit dem, wie es gelaufen ist.
100%, ja. Es hätte nicht besser laufen können.
Ja.
Also ganz im Ernst, es ist war geil, man macht sich ja Sorgen, so wie geht die Gesprächsentwicklung, wie funktioniert das? Bringt da wirklich so viel Text rein? Also es ist ja irgendwie ideal, dass es so abläuft, dass er einfach redet und wir zuhören können. Das ist natürlich für in Anführungsstrichen Anfänger, wie wir es sind, schwierig, das alles perfekt darzustellen, perfekt aufzubauen. Wir hatten uns entsprechend vorbereitet.
Was haben wir uns für Gedanken gemacht, was für Fragen wir, also klar, das ist wie gesagt noch eine einmalige Chance, was für Fragen wir ihm stellen müssen, damit wir ihn ans Reden kriegen, auch vom Niveau her.
Ja. Es ist so ein bisschen langsam reingestartet. Ich glaube, so eine Art Abtastphase, kann man fast sagen. Ist auf die Fragen größtenteils aber auch entsprechend eingegangen. Ja, ging so ein bisschen schnell, so ein bisschen Frage, Antwort am Anfang, also die ersten 5 bis 10 Minuten, und danach ist er wirklich super ins Reden gekommen und hat einfach ein bisschen erzählt, wie das so läuft, was so wichtig ist, auch ein bisschen drumherum um die Fragen, und einfach so ein bisschen erzählt, wie gesagt, also Idealfall wäre halt gewesen, so du stellst ihm eine Frage und er redet 45 Minuten lang in einem eigenen Monolog darüber, was NFL ist, Coaching, seine Philosophie und so weiter. Aber klar, wir hatten halt auch so unsere Themen, die uns irgendwie wichtig waren, die wir angesprochen haben, einfach weil es uns interessiert. Und da haben wir einiges unterbringen können. Wie gesagt, es sind natürlich ein paar Fragen hinten runtergefallen, aber insgesamt so vom Ganzen haben wir ziemlich viel unterbringen können in 45 Minuten. Und das, obwohl er ja auch sehr viel von sich aus erzählt hat, fand ich so das Feeling auch im Gespräch. Ja, also ich hätte gerne am Ende einfach weitergemacht. Aber gut, da sind wir sind natürlich nicht die einzigen auf der Welt, die da gerne mal mit ihm sprechen möchten. Ja, und es ist einfach eine coole Sache, dass er dazu angeboten hat.
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Ja, zum Abschluss vielleicht nochmal, wir hoffen einfach, dass wir damit auch nochmal so ein bisschen eine kleine Besonderheit vielleicht schaffen konnten, was Deutschland und Football angeht. Wie gesagt, wir haben jetzt nicht die krassesten Connections, war jetzt ja auch eher alles Zufall, aber versuchen halt immer auch, klar, auch ein bisschen eigensinnig, weil, wie gesagt, für uns auch eine Riesenerfahrung, aber für die Community und für unsere Hörer da immer das Maximum rauszuholen. Ich würde sagen, wir schließen das hier ab, bedanken uns fürs Zuhören, bedanken uns für die Treue.
Ja.
Würden sagen, dass wir uns nächste Woche hören. Was wir vorhaben, verraten wir noch nicht. Glaube ich. Nee, machen wir noch nicht. Von daher.
Podcast.
Bitte?
So viel können wir verraten. Es wird ein Podcast sein.
Ja.
Nächste Woche.
Überraschenderweise.
Unsere Streak reißt nicht ab. Aber vielleicht haben wir ja wen zu Gast, meinst du?
Könnte sein.
Ja.
Müssen wir mal gucken.
Ja, schauen wir mal.
Ich denke schon. Könnte passieren.
Das passiert.
Von daher. Macht's gut. Wie gesagt, schöne Woche. Wir hören uns in der nächsten und haut rein.
Peace.